Not every billionaire is racing to space. Some are digging deep, very deep. This is the story of the world's most extravagant private bunkers, hidden underground fortresses where the ultra-rich plan not just to survive, but to thrive when everything else collapses. And it all starts in one unexpected place, Kansas. In the middle of Kansas, hidden beneath a stretch of unremarkable prairie land, sits what looks like an ordinary fence surrounding an empty field. But beneath that soil is one of the most secure and luxurious residences in the world. Larry Hall's survival condo project. It was once an Atlas missile silo, built by the US government during the Cold War to survive a direct nuclear strike. Designed to withstand a 20-kiloton nuclear blast, it was the kind of fortress you only built when you believed the world might end at any moment. Decades later, Larry Hall had a different vision for it. Where the government once saw launch codes and fallout shelters, he saw opportunity. He purchased the abandoned silo from the government for $300,000 and spent the next few years turning it into the most extravagant underground residences in America. What emerged was a 15-story inverted skyscraper, completely hidden from the outside world. Inside, each level was reimagined as a private condo, and the price tag matched the clientele. Units sold for $1.5 to $5 million each, depending on size and customization. Every floor was reinforced with concrete walls 2 feet thick, outfitted with military-grade air filtration, geothermal climate systems, and redundant power generators. This wasn't just survival, it was indulgence under lockdown. Hall spared no detail. There is a swimming pool, complete with foul sunlight, a fitness center with personal trainers on call, a cinema, a library, a grocery store stocked with long-term freeze-dried supplies, and even an aquaponics farm to grow fresh vegetables and fish. Each unit comes with bulletproof doors, biometric entry systems, and access to private armory in case things really fall apart. Medical emergencies covered. The bunker includes a surgical suite with a telemedicine system that connects the specialists above ground. Communications, there is a redundant satellite internet connection and internal encrypted networks. The entire facility runs on multiple backups of everything, from water and air to electricity and food, capable of sustaining residents for 5 years or more without external support. But who lives here? Not doomsday fanatics or conspiracy theorists, but tech entrepreneurs, Wall Street veterans, and Fortune 500 executives. These are people who understand systems, how fragile they are, how quickly they can collapse, and how expensive it is to escape them. Buyers signed NDAs. No names are on the door, but Hall confirmed to reporters that several units were purchased by individuals with global business holdings, one of whom had ties to Silicon Valley, another to a major hedge fund. The survival condo isn't paranoia. It's a calculated investment. These buyers aren't preparing for aliens or zombies. They're preparing for system failures, pandemics, economic collapse, cyber war, even civil unrest. And they're willing to spend millions not to win the future, but to wait it out in comfort. But Larry Hall wasn't alone. A new industry was forming, and it was global. There was a time when bunkers were little more than concrete boxes stocked with canned beans and iodine tablets. Today, they come with chandeliers, art galleries, biometric vaults, and million-dollar views of bedrock. What used to be the last resort of survivalists has now become a booming bespoke real estate industry for the ultra-rich, with demand accelerating alongside every global crisis. Across the US, Europe, and even the South Pacific, the luxury bunker business is no longer a fringe curiosity. It's a market, and a growing one. Companies like Weavers, Oppidum, and Rising S Company are building bunkers that don't just protect people from catastrophe. They cater to a lifestyle that expects comfort even after the collapse of civilization. In South Dakota, Weavers has built a 575 bunker compound in former military munitions storage facilities. Each one customizable with private theaters, climate-controlled wine cellars, and even pet grooming rooms. Weavers Europe offers an even more extreme option in Rothenstein, Germany, an underground complex designed to accommodate over 1,000 people for up to a year, complete with a chapel, medical center, and luxury spa. Their philosophy is simple: the world may end, but your standard of living doesn't have to. In the Czech Republic, a company called the Oppidum markets what it calls the world's largest billionaire bunker. Hidden beneath a discrete country-state is a 77,000 square foot fortress equipped with nuclear blast doors, military-grade air purification, and a private vault for cryptocurrency and gold reserves. It's not just shelter, it's a fortress for your portfolio. Then there is Rising S Company in Texas, which offers top-of-the-line bunkers ranging from $50,000 to well over $10 million. Their elite clients can request everything from EMP shielding and NBC filtration systems to drone surveillance turrets, underground greenhouses, and even drivable escape tunnels. Some packages come with armored vehicles and fully stocked arsenals. But perhaps the most unexpected hotspot for this elite bunker boom is New Zealand. Nicknamed the lifeboat of civilization, the country's stable government, isolation, and temperate climate have made it a magnet for billionaire preppers. Peter Thiel, the PayPal co-founder and early Facebook investor, bought a sprawling estate on Lake Wanaka and even obtained New Zealand citizenship in 2011 after just 12 days in the country. Other tech elites, including unnamed Silicon Valley executives, have reportedly purchased land and commissioned custom shelters there, seeking refuge far from geopolitical chaos. These aren't whims. They're insurance policies, paid in cash and concrete. The market has evolved beyond prepping. It's now about sovereignty. With crypto vaults, remote airstrips, and private energy grids, many of these compounds offer not just safety, but independence. The buyers don't just want to survive, they want to govern their own micro-reality when the macro one fails. And the market continues to rise, fueled by the one thing wealth can insulate against: uncertainty. Because for those who believe the worst is inevitable, the bunker isn't a last resort, it's a lifestyle upgrade. But building a bunker isn't just about safety, it's about control. It's easy to think of bunkers as fallout shelters, the stuff of Cold War paranoia or sci-fi movies. But the newest generation of bunkers, carved into mountains, buried beneath farmland, or camouflaged under mansions, tells a deeper story about a very particular kind of person: the ultra-wealthy prepper. These aren't people hoping for collapse, but they're certainly planning for it. And the psychology behind it reveals more than just fear. It reveals guilt, detachment, and a quiet kind of power play. Many of today's billionaire preppers made their fortunes in industries that shaped and in some cases destabilized the modern world. Whether it's big tech, Wall Street, or private equity, these are the architects of a global system built on scale, speed, and disruption. And now, with the threats of that same system, from climate change and cyber warfare to pandemics and political unrest, creeping closer, they're quietly backing away from the very world they helped accelerate. Antonio Garcia Martinez, a former Facebook product manager, made headlines when he bought land on an island in the Pacific Northwest and equipped it with generators, solar panels, and thousands of rounds of ammunition. It wasn't a hobby, it was a hedge. He admitted that his time in Silicon Valley taught him how fragile the infrastructure of modern society really is. Others like Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn's co-founder, once joked that he couldn't find a single rich person in tech who didn't have some kind of apocalypse insurance. Some go even further. Steve Huffman, CEO of Reddit, famously got LASIK eye surgery so he wouldn't be dependent on glasses in the event of collapse. He also stockpiled motorcycles, reasoning they could weave through traffic in case roads were jammed. Others have quietly purchased private islands, airstrips, or vast plots of remote farmland, not for retreat but for escape. The contradiction is hard to ignore. These are people who profited from globalization and hyperconnectivity, now betting against the very system that made them rich. They're pulling their wealth into hidden vaults, sealed bunkers, and isolated compounds, while the rest of the world continues to live inside the turbulence they helped create. It's not just a matter of safety, it's a rejection of collective fate, a belief that they can opt out. What's more, many of these preppers don't trust each other. Tech conferences and high-end retreats have reportedly hosted discussions on how to maintain control over security staff in a post-collapse world. One investor even asked a group of consultants whether shock collars or food rationing systems would be more effective for managing gods. The bunker isn't just about isolation from danger, it's about preserving hierarchy when the rules vanish. There is a strange irony at the core of all this. The most powerful people in the world are some of the least confident in the system's future. They've seen behind the curtain and they're quietly building exits. And if you think these are just concrete bunkers, you haven't seen the new models. The modern billionaire bunker is no longer a dark concrete tube buried under dirt. It's now a masterpiece of design, technology, and psychological luxury. engineered for one singular purpose: to make the end of the world feel like a lifestyle upgrade. These structures aren't built just to protect, they're designed to preserve status, comfort, and identity, even when everything above ground collapses. Take the Oppidum for example, a project in the Czech Republic that calls itself the world's largest billionaire bunker. Above ground, it looks like a modest countryside estate. Below, it unfolds into a 77,000 square foot subterranean palace, shielded by 30-foot blast doors, reinforced concrete, and a private security force. Inside, there is an underground spa, a fully stocked wine cellar, private vaults for art and cryptocurrency, and even a decontamination zone just outside the residential wing. It's been described as part luxury hotel, part fortress, part museum. The idea isn't just to survive in it, it's to never feel like you left anything behind. These next-gen bunkers are shaped as much by psychology as by engineering. They incorporate LED panels programmed to simulate natural sunlight, to help manage circadian rhythms and prevent the claustrophobic dread of artificial light. Climate control systems are powered by AI-driven smart grids, which adjust temperature, humidity, and oxygen levels based on individual preferences. And while old bunkers stored canned beans, these have indoor hydroponic gardens and automated aquaponics farms, so that residents can enjoy fresh herbs and vegetables harvested underground without ever seeing the sun. Security is also elevated far beyond locks and alarms. Biometric scanners, retinal recognition, and airlock-style entry zones control who moves where. Surveillance systems powered by machine learning track every corner of the facility and even monitor stress levels in residents through wearables. In some designs, drone defense systems guard the perimeter, and remote control weaponry stands by in case of intrusion. And then there are the indulgences. Not just the cinema rooms and libraries, but personal art galleries with climate-controlled panels, spaces for in-house chefs, and medical suites equipped for telesurgery. One bunker designer even installed a vault for a client's rare watch collection, complete with humidity controls and robotic arms for winding. There is no pretense here of roughing it. These are homes, fortresses, and personal islands wrapped into one, capable of supporting their owners indefinitely, whether they're escaping a biological event, political unrest, or a financial meltdown. They aren't preparing for the end of the world like you would imagine. They're preparing to own it when it's gone. But what if the end of the world doesn't come? For some, that doesn't matter. The bunker is still the backup plan. There was a time when a private jet or a 300-foot yacht was the ultimate display of wealth. Now, the most telling sign that someone has made it isn't parked at a marina or sitting on a runway. It's hidden deep underground. The billionaire bunker has quietly emerged as the next level status symbol, not just for survival, but for signal. In a world where everyone wants to be seen, some of the wealthiest now flaunt their power by showing how easy they could disappear. High-end real estate brokers have begun listing properties with phrases like discrete portfolio structure, tactical safe room, or subsurface infrastructure. One Los Angeles compound came with a multi-level underground wing complete with air filtration and secure access. Another in Colorado featured a wine cellar that doubled as a bomb shelter, fitted with marble floors and a backup generator system. But it doesn't stop at concrete and steel. Interior designers are now being hired specifically for bunkers. Luxury firms that once specialized in high-rise penthouses and Aspen ski lodges now take contracts to make survival feel like five-star living. Think sewed walls, walnut flooring, and LED ceiling panels that mimic sunrise in Bora Bora. Some bunker owners retain private chefs on long-term contracts. The goal is not to survive well, it's to survive with taste. In this new landscape, even escape itself has become branded. To own a shelter is not just to prepare, it's to broadcast that you're 3 steps ahead of the chaos. The bunker says you understand the system. You see the cracks and you've already taken your exit. In a society obsessed with private access, first-class seats, VIP lounges, ultra-black credit cards, what could be more exclusive than a door that seals behind you when the world goes dark? Some are going even further, building bunkers within bunkers. Hidden rooms, secret tunnels, or entire wings meant only for the most trusted inner circle. In this world, wealth isn't about what you show anymore. It's about what you can walk away from and still thrive. Still, there is a growing question behind all this concrete and comfort. Who gets left out? At first glance, the billionaire bunkers look like just another luxury asset, like a ski chalet or a custom jet. But beneath the polished concrete and biometric logs lies a far more uncomfortable truth. The bunkers aren't just shelters, they're symbols of retreat, and the more you examine them, the clearer it becomes. They aren't designed to save the world, they're designed to leave it behind. What does it say when the wealthiest people alive, those with the most influence, access, and resources, aren't investing in solutions to prevent collapse, but instead are preparing to outlast it? While governments debate climate targets, health budgets, and infrastructure upgrades, the elite are building escape hatches. It's not just planning, it's a statement. They're not trying to fix the system, they're preparing to survive its failure. For the average person, emergency response means FEMA kits, evacuation zones, and waiting in line for bottled water. For the ultra-wealthy, it means sealed underground compounds, full-time security staff, and a pantry that could feed a family for 10 years. That contrast isn't just logistical, it's philosophical. The richest aren't just hedging against risk, they're separating from it entirely. Critics have called this phenomenon the ultimate form of disaster capitalism. The phrase survival of the richest, popularized by media theorist Douglas Rushkoff, describes a system in which the same people who benefit most from economic extraction, environmental degradation, and automation also believe they're the ones most entitled to survive the consequences. In this world, the bunker is less about defense and more about abandonment. A fortress not just from the chaos but from accountability. This raises uncomfortable questions. If the richest believe civilization is heading toward collapse, why aren't they using their influence to prevent it? Why are billions being poured into vaults and steel instead of cities and schools? What happens when those with the most means stop believing in a shared future and start investing only in their own continuation? As the climate warms, inequality widens, and AI accelerates disruption across every industry, the billionaire bunker is no longer science fiction. It's real, it's expanding, and it quietly reflects a worldview that few dare say out loud. The belief that some lives are meant to endure and others are simply expected to endure collapse. So whether the world ends in fire, famine, or a server crash, the gates will already be locked. If the future belongs to those who can afford to hide from it, what kind of world are we building? Leave your thoughts in the comments.